I'm going to try to buzz through this as quickly as possible for our November 1st date. So let's get to it. So it says Donnie Darko, and it's 89, 86, 68. So let's take a look at them. All four of these. Go through this prep. This is the Day of the Dead. This is all over iPet Goat, the Wednesday series, UFC 306, and Day of the Dead this year is on day 306 of the year. And that's when we started getting very suspicious. So Donnie Darko, release date, October 26, 2001, 2R11 date. It's a perfect 121 weeks, which is to say 1,201 weeks. So you got event 201 in the weeks. You have event 201 beginning the hours. You have 68 in the hours. You have 68 in the minutes. 68 is Antichrist. And one of our ciphers, I guess I need to go ahead and bring that up, which would be Antichrist. And there's your 121 in simple gematria. All right. 8407. Let's keep going. Let's drop that one. Let's go to the next one. This is when Frank got shot, October 30th, 1988, in the movie Donnie Darko. 187 in the weeks, 1878 weeks. And let's keep going. On October 2nd, 1988, if you run it to the 86ing day, there is murder 79 days. It's perfect. 179 days, 188 in the weeks, 1882, 13179 in the hours, 88 is Trump, 79 is murder. You got the 1386 in the seconds. Remember, on Zechariah 11:17 in my dad's Bible, as I've shown y'all on, I think, all the channels in the playlist, but if you can't find it, just ask me for it. It's on page 1386, and 138 is Donald Trump, and 86 is 286 or to eliminate. So that lands absolutely perfect. So if we go back to where we were, and now let's key in murder. There's your 79 murder in the simple gematria, where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. So the plot definitely thickens there. The Cannes Film Festival of Donnie Darko, January 19th or 1/19, 2001. Again, with a 2001, A Space Odyssey. 285 in the months on the rising day. 8689. Again, with the 68 is Antichrist. 68 is Antichrist in reverse reduction. It's also the opposite of 86. So it represents his rising. So the Donnie, and by the way, 119 or January 19th is 119 is Donald. 8689. So it's the 86ing and the 89. I mean, excuse me, the 86 fused with the 68. So it's death and rising. On the rising day, it is also on the 86ing day. If you go to the 86ing day and you include both dates, which you have the option to do, you have 8688, 86ing the 88. Again, 285 in the months, which is the address of One World Trade Tower representing his rising. It will be that on the rising day also, of course. Let's go back, not including both dates, and go back to the rising day with that 8689. Remember, 89 is a Donald Trump in Jewish gematria, the most biblical. It's 589, Donald Trump is, and 1189 is Donald J. Trump in the Jewish gematria. So the 89 is in Donald Trump and Donald J. Trump in the Jewish or Hebrew, the most biblical, where we get our 666 from, which I've got something on that also in the prep. Volume is still good. Let's keep going. Heidi Bowl 2111. The right eye utterly darkened Raiders playing the Jets. So you got 38, which is murder. Let's go back to murder. It's 38 in reverse reduction. It's also death in simple gematria, where A is 1, B is 2. So 38 is your biggest number for the event. And 138 is Donald Trump. So when you run the Heidi Bowl to the rising day, it's 20,440, and 440 is Antichrist in the Jewish gematria, the most biblical. It's 55 years, which is Satan. 11 months, 17 days. 1117 is Zechariah 1117 Bible verse, which is when the Heidi Bowl was played on 1117. 11 times 17 is 187. The 187th prime number is 1117. Go back and listen to that again. But it's fused with 117 with the 11 months and 17 days. 11:7 is the rising Bible verse on the rising day from the 11:17. 11:17 has 11:7 built into it. I think we found our date, and I'm not going to lie. Day of the Dead, 3 ways. Day of the Dead is 588, 588, and 98. That's in the Jewish Hebrew gematria. It's in the English, which is 6 times ordinal or simple gematria. There's English ordinal, and then there's English gematria. English gematria is 6 times English ordinal. It's very confusing, but I'm sure on purpose. Comes to May 3rd, which is opposite November 3rd, the rising day. Comes to 88, which we know Trump is 88 in simple gematria. 88 out of time. Comes to Trump clone, which we know is what takes the body double hit. It comes to Partridge, as in the Partridge family. 19,761 days from the Partridge family to the 8016 day. 18, 486, 18 of 6 plus 6 plus 6, 486. You also have your 79 as it's 50 years, 7 months, 9 days, 7 months, 9 days, 7, 9, 79 is murder. It's also 607 months, 9 days, 6, 0, 7, 9. So the Partridge family is a direct hit. Of course, the Partridge family. Then to the rising day, 18488 and 7 months, 11 days for Revelation 11:7. The rising, it's just reversed, which they do things backwards and forwards. Show ended with 86 to 86ing day, 88 on rising day. So that was when the show ended then, that I just ran. If you go to their IMDb, it is a 66 rating, which is the book of Revelation, is a 66 book of the Bible. And the URL is 653 333. Go figure. It also comes to Storm is Coming. Dia de Muertos is 578, 804, and 134. It comes to December 4th, September 3rd. Superhero. Jared Kushner, Solar Eclipse, 84, Bohemian Grove, Jack Nicholson, Chinese Balloon, Beyonce Carter. Dia de los Muertos, another way to say Day of the Dead, 738, which, if I'm not mistaken, is devil, or devil in the Jewish gematria. 1080 and 180 comes to Kobe Bean Bryant. March 17th, April 20th, Donald Trump is dead. August 11th, Careless Whisper. (2001) A Space Odyssey. I need to run those, so I'll click unread and go back. 666 and Donald John Trump. So November 1st comes to exactly what in the Jewish comes to 666 and Donald John Trump. That's how we know it's the number of the man, because SIX, SIX, SIX equals Donald John Trump in the Jewish or Hebrew gematria. This website calls it Jewish. The other one calls it Hebrew. That's why I say it's the most biblical, because that's where we get the number of a man. Folks, it also comes to November 1st, the 86ing day. Or is it the rising day? I don't know. That means he would go down on October 30th, which was when the guy was shot in the right eye in the movie Donnie Darko. So you have to look at both dates. But me, I think it's got a two-way go, because One World Trade Tower opened on November 3rd, which represents rising, because 11/3 is opposite 3/11, which on a calendar is opposite September 11th. September was once 7th month. Most countries write it backwards, so it was really about Revelation 11:7. Sorry if I'm going too fast. I just, or not explaining this stuff deeply and carefully, because I'm in a hurry. But November 1st comes to the exact same match as 666 spelled out, and which is also a match for Donald John Trump, count the number of a man, to fulfill the other Bible prophecy or verse, being here in his own name. A trump is a horn and a horn is a trump, and the horn is the Antichrist in the book of Daniel. So he fulfills both Bible prophecies. 666 and Donald John Trump comes to also Twin Towers, September 11, the White House. November 1st has 322 searches when I last did it. Let's go see if it still does. 666, Donald John Trump is 2022. SIX, SIX, SIX. Guess how many searches? 8857. 88 is Trump simple choice. The AI does all this. So where's our 1322? November 1st is now 1325. It was 1322 searches. We know what 322 is. Skull and bones, all that kind of stuff. That's the end of that prep. I want to now go through all tabs that might be relating to this. So when the video came out of iPet Goat's YouTube site, they put out another video, 38 seconds long. There it is, 38 seconds. And so 38 seconds long. If you look at the date of that, Released on 4/21/2024, 2R11/1 date. It's 6 months, 11 days, which is a upside down 9/11. Perfect. Absolute perfection, huh? Well, I guess so. The date on the marquee of that video of when Tom Jacks was to be appearing, it would be 28 weeks later from the movie 28 Weeks Later. It's a perfect 28 weeks. Well, just like it is on the 21st. No, it's 27 weeks, 5 days. It's perfect 28 weeks on the rising day. Ah, from the movie 28 Weeks Later. Let's look it up. Film 28 weeks later. You see the mask, you see all that stuff. Came out in 007, 2007. The URL has the 38 in it for death and murder 46384. Perfect. Let's take a look at their rising date. I mean, the release dates. So they give us 3, which is going to be complicated. So let's just go to the film Begin Again and then use it. The film Begin Again is 38 in the days, 4,038 days. Oh, I'm sorry. That's to 9/27. Never mind. I forget what it is to 11/1. I don't know if I already worked that out. 27th is a big day too. So it's 11 years, 1 month, 20. So you have your 1/1/1 on 11/1. 11 years, 1 month, 25 days. But the perfect 1/3/3 months for Revelation 13:3, which is the first time deadly wound is mentioned. So Begin Again is perfect. It's the same on the rising day. Still going to be 1/3/3 months. Beginning is 3745 days on the 27th. On its other release date, if we go to November 1st, it's 3780 days. And yeah, sorry, I had something else on my mind. Something very troubling that I have come across that is extremely troubling. All right, so let's get rid of the Begin Again. The 28 weeks later, let's just look at it's 2007, all of them. It's April, May, and June. So 2007, let's go to 2007, April, 2007, May, and June. This is a big deal here. Just bear with me. I'm sorry. It's 26th, 11th, 29th. 26th, 11th, 29th. 26th, 11th. Ooh, perfect. 29th. So the 28 weeks later, based off what we were trying to figure out, April 26th, May 11th, June 29th. It was, let's look at this one. There it is. Goodness gracious alive. 6386 on the rising day. You got your murder. You've got death. You've got the 86. Yes, it is on the rising day. If you go to the 86ing day, you still have that 38 dead in the middle for murder and death from 28 weeks later. $17 years, 6 months, 8 days. There's your 68 Antichrist again for the rising day. I don't know. That was just something I really wanted to take a look at. 12/18, 2000. If I can't remember what it is, then I'm getting rid of it. I think I can remember stuff and then I can't. Don't know what that is either. All right, very good. Let's keep plugging along through all these preps. So Mike Tyson? No. Mike Tyson, June 30th, 1966. So 1/12/1954. Absolutely thought I would remember what that was. I will tell you what's interesting is the Trackdown episode. Trackdown, The End of the World, IMDb. It was aired May 9th, 1958. May 9th, 1958. This will blow your mind. If you run it to the rising day, it literally has 24,285. 285 is the address of One World Trade Tower that opened on 11/3. So on 11/3, it has the address 285. That's impossible. And it's 24,285 for the year 24. 285. That's impossible. And yet, there it is. So let's go back. I can't remember. Oh, that was Howard Stern's birthday. 1/12/1954, 2/11/1 to the 86ing day. He's got 86 in his days. 25,861. He's got murder in his year's month, 70 years, 9 months. They don't count the zeros, neither does our Lord. So it's 79 years, months. 79 murder. And you go Mike Tyson, June 30th, 1966, to the rising day, and there it is, 311. 21,311 for March 11th, which was opposite November 3rd, which was One World Trade Tower opened, on 11/3, which is opposite 311, which on a calendar is opposite 9/11, or which was all about Revelation 11:7. We've been over that so many times because September was once the 7th month, and most countries write it backwards. So Mike Tyson's a direct hit. 21,311 on the rising day, representing the rising. Also 4 months, 4 days for 404 Book of Revelation. Michael Jackson, August 29th, 1958. If we run that to our 11/1, let's go. $66 years, 2 months, 79. Well, 794 months. You have 79 murder, but 66 years for the Book of Revelation. Oh, the day he died, 6/25, 2009, to our 11/1 date, 5608. On the rising day, it'll be 5610 or 49, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really there. 2/11/1990. I'm not sure what that was. 2/11/1990. Sounds still good. If I don't remember, too bad. So if I'm not mistaken, this might be Catcher in the Rye, July 16th, 1951. Oh, no, I know what that is. And that is outstanding. That's a personal cipher. July 16th, 1951 for Catcher in the Rye, which, all the murderers, remember, they were all about Catcher in the Rye. It is a palindrome, 26762 on October 22nd. That is a massive date to keep our right eye on. But if we run Catcher in the Rye to November 1st, our 86ing day, it's 3824 and 4 days. Excuse me, 3,824 weeks and 4 days. So that's 38, death and murder, 24 for the year 2024, and how it ends in 4 weeks and then 4 days. There's your 404 for Book of Revelation, all coded into Catcher in the Rye. It's 879 months. 79 is murder. It's a big deal. That's a super big deal. That's a super big deal. 121, 2015, 121 is Antichrist. Anybody born on that date to the rising day, they are 357, 4 days old. 357 is the amount of verses in the book of Daniel. But notice the months, 11/7 for the rising, on the rising day. I happen to know somebody on that date. Born on that day. There's a lot to that. There is our Trackdown. Let's go to the next one. There's our Howard Stern again. There's our Trackdown. That's not Trackdown. Yeah, it is. It's 24,283 days to the 86ing day. And 83, of course, is murder. It is murder in the, that already get rid of it? Nope. Murder being 83 in reverse ordinal gematria. So the Lawrence Dobkin guy that played Walter Trump, who got shot and talked about building a wall to save everybody. Lawrence Dobkin, born September 16th, 1919, which is when the Lord put it in my heart to take a look at 11/1, or when it was put in my head. The Lord didn't do it. If it's not the date, it's just my flesh. But if we're correct, then the Lord would have done it. Lord doesn't make mistakes. And I'm not telling you I'm getting any divine intervention. I just look at clues. So if you look at his birth to the 86ing day, the guy that got shot, it's 38,000. There's your 38, 398. Well, folks, that's 383. followed by a 98. 38 is murder. 83 is murder. It's a fusion of both. 38 is also death. But if you include both dates, are you ready? 38,399. 399 is murder in the Jewish gematria. What are the chances of that? 38,399. So it's murder and death and murder by the guy who was murdered in Trackdown called The End of the World. He talked about building a wall to save everybody. Going to build a wall to save them all. He was shot at the end because he was a snake oil salesman. Lawrence Dobkin was his name, the actor's name. Folks, that is impossible. Friends, which was Leave the World Behind, September 22nd. Start date to our 86ing day, 10,998. Don't forget the 98th verse of Revelation is the white horse crowning verse. If you run it to the rising day, it's a perfect 11,000 days, even Steven. What are the chances of that? If you include both dates, it's 11,001 days. 11/1 is the date of the 86ing day. That's impossible. Leave the World Behind had 2 release dates. The second one was on JFK's assassination date, 11/22/2023. It is 11 months, 10 days. There's your 111 again. A perfect hit on the 111 86ing day on November 1st. Famous birthdays or famous events for this date. Goodness gracious. I can't find anybody. Look like pop stars, every one of them. Anyway, I don't know. Famous birthdays, November 1st. Louis the Stammerer, King of West France. Leopold III, Duke of Austria. I don't know. Not seeing much there. I don't want to waste your time. What happened on November 1st in history? 1945, the Ebony Magazine, Palestine American, first NBA game played. Of course, Celtic, it's the Celtic New Year, as the Celtics just won. And it says the Renaissance, 1993, European Union officially established. Interesting. On this day in history of November 1st, it is when the Titanic came out. Walter Payton died of cancer, so on and so forth. Hang on, I got to take a quick break. Anyway, let's get rid of that. Sorry to waste your time with that this day in history. And looks like we're frozen, so hang on. So anybody born on the date October 11th, on the year 11, October 11th, 2011. Hang on just a second. Wrong date. Okay, so now it's the direct date. If you look at that number, October 11th, 2011, 10 times 11 times 2011, you have the 121 Antichrist at the end, but the first 2 digits are that 22. Remember, the 22nd prime number is 79 murder. District 22 was the only thing on that school bus that the Joker, when the Joker robbed that bank and left in the bus. District 22. So if we run that date of 10/11/2011 to our 86ing day, and we include both dates, it is 13 years, 22 days. There's your 22, but it's also 1322 code for the number 13 fused with 322 skull and bones. 681, 681 in the weeks. 68 again is Antichrist. 668 begins the minute. 68 again is Antichrist. Eleven 9/2012. Do we know why we put this one up? Cannot remember. It's 11 years, 10 months, 11 days. It's 4,333. I can't remember. So when I'm doing these, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I think I'm going to remember it. And then I just don't. How old is Trump going to be on that day? That's a great question. We might have already done that in the first video. Yeah, he's going to be 86, 286.30. And on the rising day, if you include both dates, 286.33. Eleven 2014, the opening of One World Trade Tower to the, let's go 86ing day. It's 9/11. 9 years, 11 months, 29 days. But look at the months. 119 for Donald, or the backwards 9/11 in 29 days. So it's 9/11 and 11/9. That's impossible. And yet, there it is. And there it is. That's mind blowing. So this prep here was actually set up for these events coming up shortly, but I am now pretty much transfixed on everything going down on the day that I think it is. Day of the Dead, November 1st. We do need to do the transfer portal of time. And not sure what that is. So 3/11/2022. Yeah, that was the anomaly. If you remember, anyone born on May 1st, 1985, if you run them to 3/11/2022, they turn the first 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number days old. 33 days later, I turn the next 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number days old. And 33 days after that was a total lunar eclipse. We knew we were on to something there. And it happens to be a perfect 138, which is Donald Trump in civil gematria. It's a perfect 138 weeks to 11/1. It'll be 138 weeks, 2 days, or 968. By the way, that's 966 days, which 66 is the book of Revelation, which we know we're living in real time when he gets that deadly wound. But on the rising day, it's 968 days for the reversal of 86 on his reversal of the 86ing, because it's his rising day. It's not the abomination of desolation or when he appears to the earth as seemingly risen from the dead. It is just Satan then possessing his body, spiritually rising on the 3rd day. Satan, Heisman Trophy. Heisman is simply, he is man. Who is man? Satan is now man. We did run Jaden Daniels, the 12/9 date. We ran Jaden Daniels. We ran the Heisman Trophy. And maybe that was what some dates I couldn't remember. So last year's Heisman Trophy was on 12/9. I think that might have been one of them that I was looking at. And it's 330 days. Is that perfect? 33, their number. Anyway, let's keep going here. One thing, yeah, I think I already showed y'all that. Oof, that's a big deal right there. We'll get into that later. All right, we'll get into that later. I was looking at the inauguration date or something. Let's keep going. The matrix. The matrix in the URL begins with 13:3 for Revelation 13:3. Deadly wound, but did live. First time it's mentioned. The Matrix has many different release dates: March 24th, March 31st, April 8th. If you run it to our 11/1 date, because these dates were all about another date I was looking at, this big prep here, but it's 13/3 in the weeks. There it is. 3078 in the months and days, which is utter perfection. Why is 3078 utter perfection? Because anybody born on 3/19, 1998, the number is 113,886. You have November 3rd for the Rising Day and the opening of One World Trade Tower, which represented Rising. You have 138, which is Donald Trump. Simple Gematria, you have 88, which is Trump. In Simple Gematria, you have 38, which is death. In Simple Gematria, you have 38, which is murder and reverse reduction. And you have the 86ing of him. So you have the 86ing of 138 and 88, which is Donald Trump or Trump. Yeah, so it's death and rising, all in these numbers. That divides evenly by 37, which is the number that goes into 111 all the way through 999, 666, 555, all of them. It's a prime number for the church. When you divide it evenly by 37, it's 3078. And that's what the matrix comes to, 3078, 307 months, 8 days. That is an extremely big deal. With its 13:3 in the URL, that's just a big deal. All right, next up was 310 to Yuma. If I look at that to 11/1, yeah, nothing much. And that wasn't what it was set up for. I had it set up for the September date, just like that one set up for the September date. So this is the X across America. The first solar, no. 821, 2000. I have no idea. Let's keep going. Let's run it to 11/1. The total solar that made the X across America, the first one, because there were two of them. The one that just occurred on April 8th is the one that made the X, but the first one to the 86ing day is 2585. Now, if you include both dates, it's 2586. If you run it to the rising day and include both dates, it ends up being 2587. So you have 586 and 587 in there, which was Israel's captivity coded. That's very spectacular. If you run the Alec Baldwin event, It's 11-7, isn't it? Wow, it's 311 also. Oof. Oof. The Alec Baldwin event is just direct smash hits. It's 11-7 to the 86ing day, 11-9, which is Donald, to the rising day. It's 311, 3 years, 11 months, which is 311 code to the 86ing day, but it turns into 13-3, 3 years, 13 days for the Zerbruder film, frame 313, which is the headshot wound. So it reverses, if you're noticing. And that Alec Baldwin event day, October 21st, 2021, that was 121. Drop the 0 for October, just 121, Antichrist. Alec Baldwin's date of birth, if I'm not mistaken, is April 3rd, 58, because I've done it before. Alec Baldwin's birthday, April 3rd, 58. So let's go 1958, April 3rd. He's always Trump. We need to do Christian Bale. We need to do all of them, and we will. Well, there he is. He's a perfect 24-3-2-2, if you include both dates, which we can always do. 66 years, $7.99 in a month, or 79. But look at that, 24-3-2-2 for the year 24, followed by Skull and Bones 3-2-2. Wow. That is just something else. Now, let's run it to the 86ing day and not include both dates. I want to see what we're looking at. 66 years, 6 months for 666. 798 in the months. 79 murder, 98 verse is the crowning or the murder event. It's also 6662.74% of a common year. So it's a double 666. Alec Baldwin to the 86ing day. Unbelievable. There's your 3-2. There's your 13-2-2 or 1322. That was for 9/17/1981. Oh, never mind. That's something different. That's something different. That's the Alec Baldwin date. Well, at least we're knocking everything out. Yep, we're getting rid of everything here. Let's keep going. I got to get rid of all these tabs. Yep. Anybody born on 11/17/1959. They are 79 on the murder day, 779 months, 79 is murder. They are 23,726 days old. 726 is Antichrist in the English gematria, which is 6 times English ordinal or simple gematria. But on the rising day, that person born on 11/17, which is representing the Zechariah 11/17 right eye Bible verse. They are 11/17 on the rising day, 64/11/17, which built into that is also the 11/7. I'm not going to get into somebody that I know that is, but I can tell you that is heavy, heavy coding. Just gigantic heavy coding. Marilyn Monroe, June 1st, 1926. I know somebody born on November 1st, and their name was Norma. I don't remember if her middle name was Norma Jean, but I think Marilyn Monroe's was Marilyn Monroe's full name.
According to IMDb,
Norma Jean. If you look at her birthday, to the 11/1 day, there's not much there. Who is 11/12/1929? Is that the Marilyn Monroe? No. Who is 11/12/1920? Oh, I think no. It wasn't Jack Dempsey. Who was that? 1929 was the stock market crash. Why in the world did I have this date up there? I have no idea. We're not going to worry about it. So the one that played Marilyn Monroe, and she was in No Time to Die, and she was born 1988, April 30th, 1988, April 30th, 1988, to our 86ing day. I want you to look. 1, 3, 3, 3, 4 days old. For Revelation 13:3, the first time deadly wound, but did live is mentioned. 36 years, 6 months, you get your 66 code, but she's 438 months old in 2 days, 438. We know about the 38 is death and murder. She is smash hits all over the place on this. She'll be 13336 on the rising day. Remember, 36 is Adam in Jewish gematria. Remember, he is the Antichrist, is the Black Adam from the movie Black Adam. She was in the movie Blonde, which has 38 in the URL. Well, 55 for Satan, fused with 38, ending in 89. That's fused with 38. And remember, 89 is in Donald Trump and Donald J. Trump in the Jewish gematria, the most biblical. The name of the movie is Blonde. Blonde's release dates, it had 3 of them. Do I have them all here? Looks like we do. To our 11/1 date. Let's go 785. There it is, 777 on one of the release dates on which one? On 9/16, which is the United States release date of Blonde, to the 86ing day. 777 perfect days. 111 weeks for the event taking place on day 11. 111 begins the minutes, followed by 888 in the minutes. 2 years, 1 month, 16 days. 116 is a backwards upside down 9/11. They absolutely love that. And that full moon on 8/19, it's a perfect 74 days. Oh, we were looking at the all the things taking place on that day. For the August 19th date, hang on just a second. Yeah, I haven't updated it, but I know what it is. So the 86ing day, it's a perfect 37 progression to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band release. The day the music died, plane crash of 2/3/1959. Dead Presidents release date, Dragonfly release date on 2/2/2002. Reichstag Fire and Molotov Ribbentrop Pact, both events that basically began World War II. And the November 20th, 1989, Doug Williams, Donnie Darko game. They showed that in slow motion. They were showing Doug Williams in a football game that was not played on in October of 1988. It was actually played the following year. The movie was set in 1980 in October 1988, but yet it was a Doug Williams game of November 20th, 1989. It's a perfect progression to that on the 80-16 day. If you include both dates, I Am Batman, or the day after I Am Batman, depending on how you want to look at it. Trump Tower opening, iPad Goat's official release date, June 24, 2012. GoldenEye premiere, Dr. No release of May 8th, 1963, Lincoln assassination. On the Rising Day, it's Heath Ledger's birthday. It's King Kong's release, 1933. And it is a perfect progression to the double midpoint of two total solars, two total looters, and Sirius rising on 8/12 of 2022, which it's 814 perfect days, which is a 37 progression. But from 8/12, it's 812 days to the 80-16 day. I'm pretty sure we already went over that. Batman's first appearance in a comic book, 3/30/1939. On the Rising Day, the Georgia Guidestone's destruction day of July 6, 2022. Again, 76, or I didn't say again. Adam is 76 in Strong's Concordance, New Testament. The movie 88 release date and Take Shelter on the Rising Day. Total solar eclipse in 79. And it's, if you include both dates, it's a direct hit with the Alec Baldwin Day of October 21st, 2021. Brad Pitt, which represents rising out of the pit, if you include both dates, on the day he would rise out of the pit. Super Bowl 47 blackout at 13/22. There's that 13/22 again. If you include both dates, it's a perfect fusion. I mean, it's a perfect direct hit of the Super Bowl 47 blackout, which occurred with 13/22 time on the clock. Score was 286, which is how old Trump will be. He'll be 286 days old, 28,600 and something days old. We already went over that. I think he's 286.30 on the 80-16 day. Yeah. King Kong, New York City premiere, 1933, 3233. That was a premiere. Fahrenheit 9/11 release date, if you include both dates. The Michael Moore film. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, if you include both dates to the Rising Day. Yeah. Anyway, hey, y'all. Well, it was 9/11. Now it's 9/12. I'll look down at the clock. So where are we at with all this? We're done. Sorry that it was not better prepared. Hope you found this interesting, maybe even perhaps fascinating. Love you.